Y'all, does the internet ever check in on you and make sure that you absolutely want to do this video today? That's what's going on with me for sure. So, third time is a charm. I'm showing up like it's going to be awesome. Day 3, we are talking about how to become the most requested coach in your gym. And in this masterclass series, we have discussed several aspects, and today is really going to be about building those programs to get the proven results. Like we talked about, to be the most requested coach in your gym, to be that world-class coach that you want to be, there are several pieces and things that you need. One of those is proven results and long-term relationships with your clients, really built on trust and commitment. Another one is staying up to date on the research, the methods, the continuing education, and also being parts of mentorships and collaborations. So you're continuing to grow yourself as a coach. And the last one is that big energy that really attracts clients to you. Now, that big energy could be stoic. For some people, that big energy can be loud, like it is for me, but you're really bringing a good, strong energy, really pulling people up to you and helping rise them up. And that's what we're talking about today. This whole masterclass series is not for you if you've never been frustrated with an athlete that you're coaching and training. If you've never had that frustration trying to move them to more coachability, trying to figure out what is going on, there just isn't buy-in to sit here and listen to me yammer on. But if you've been frustrated with a client, or if you've been the frustrated client before, you're going to get so much out of this masterclass series. If you're not a coach, a physical therapist, a personal trainer, an athletic trainer, a coach, a chiropractor, really wanting to work with clients or already currently working with clients, the series is all about how to become the most requested coach. So really working with clients and facilitating those relationships. If none of your clients have ever experienced a plateau before, so I talk about you being frustrated with an athlete has a lot to do with coachability. How coachable are they? Really, where is kind of the mental gains happening? And whenever I talk about a plateau, I'm talking really about that performance gain. So how are they showing up physicality wise? And then if you're not looking to develop yourself into the best coach, the best trainer, the best physical therapist possible, then this series is not for you, and you probably didn't even click on it. So if you already clicked on this, you've already taken step 1, really moving into the most requested coach in your gym, the most requested coach that's working with athletes, and really moving yourself forward just by clicking, just by showing up here, you've already taken that step. This masterclass series is for you if you want to work successfully with a variety of mindset and performance capabilities. This is all about what day 1 was really about, building that foundation for, identifying where are people at right now and how do we keep moving them forward in their journey. If you're working or want to work one-on-one with clients to improve fitness and health. So if you're in the group setting right now and you really want to work more one-on-one with clients, but you don't want to trade time for money, or if you're in the one-on-one setting, you want to continue to work one-on-one with clients, but you don't want to keep adding more personal training sessions to that, this is really what Mobility Mastery is about. If you want to grow your skills to decrease plateaus, pain, injuries, and mental blocks, then that's everything that we're going to be learning about, especially today, connecting the brain and body. That's all what this is about. And if you want to develop mentorship and collaboration with others, as you guys know, the people you surround yourself with really help you grow in your coaching facility. And that's what this is all about. The number one problem that we see in the health and fitness industry is that coaches are leading with the problem and they're selling the methodology as the solution. So someone comes into your gym, they say, yeah, I want to lose weight. And you sell them CrossFit methodology. We do it best because we've got this community, we've got these classes, which helps people really push themselves, helps people show up more. They get groups of friends. And we do weightlifting along with aerobic capacity, which has been shown to be one of the most effective methods. The problem with this isn't that any of that is untrue. It's that you're missing so many other pieces of individualizing it for their life, so that if they move to a different place and they're not able to get to your gym anymore, if they are at a point in life where they can't do all the CrossFit methodology, that they can still come in, they can still choose how to be a part of that community because you've understood their journey as a whole. And that's really, really, really important is that we are talking about seeing the person first and building their health journey, building a vision for the healthiest and fittest version of them. And each individual problem or goal will fit into that and accumulate over time. But you cannot develop that long term relationship if you don't originally start the second they walk in with you with them as the person. So, how do we do that? Day one, the coaching client qualifier. If you've been working with them in group fitness class, you might already be able to qualify them. After you work with them a few times, you're going to be able to qualify them. A lot of times, you already know where these people are falling, or in their motivational interview, you're going to find a lot of this. We look on the x-axis at coachability, low coachability over here on the right, high coachability, or on the left, high coachability on the right. Really looking at what is the attitude going on here. And then y-axis is performance. The reason that we're looking at these two things is because they tend to be the driving forces to keep clients compliant and working with you, and also to help you not have to be able to chug a whole pot of coffee in order to work with specific people. When someone has a really bad attitude and they don't perform well in the gym, so they're needing tons of cueing, tons of helping, tons of demoing, there really can be very draining. And you want to figure out how to start moving that person very rapidly to more of a champion attitude, higher levels of performance, because not only is that going to help them achieve their goals faster, other people are going to see those changes. That's going to build your community even better. And it's going to give you so much more fulfillment in your job, in your life. So qualifying and getting the commitment from the clients that you're working with first. And we really do that with our mobility mastery method, which looks at the first two foundational phases are your coaching energy. What are you doing to take care of yourself? And your commitment and getting the commitment from the client that you're working with. And then we move into those hard skills. So, like I said, those skills that are really going to be the things that are going to help you continue to grow and develop. Those are really the pieces and parts that we're looking at. And so, what we're going to do is testing and connecting the brain and body to the actual training programs, building those actual training programs. And we're going to talk about tomorrow, actually, this coaching energy and commitment. I believe this to be the foundational piece of everything that you guys are going to do. Unfortunately, this is the most missed part. So people do all the hard skills. They continue to stay up to date with research. They continue to learn new things. They're always incorporating new stuff for their clients. They're getting clients to the results that they want. Yet that coach still feels unfulfilled in their life and frustrated. And this is where coaching energy really, really, really comes in. So wanted to bring that home on the final day on a Friday, all about your vision, your fulfillment in life. Today, we're going to be finishing up really talking about how to build programming. So after you qualify the client, next is testing, which is what we talked about yesterday. We went specifically into mobility testing, joint by joint, looking at the mobility checklist. Like you guys know, mobilityathletes.com/checklist. You guys can download this checklist for free and be able to go through it. And we went through really quickly, literally less than 2 minutes, just checking these items. Is it functional or dysfunctional? And how dysfunctional? Is it the dog in the room, the horse in the room, or the elephant in the room? Once you can identify the most important things to start working on, now you can start building your program. Now we're over here and connecting the brain and body. As you guys go through with connecting the brain, the first things that we're really talking about is the parasympathetic versus the sympathetic nervous system. No matter what, your brain is sending signals all the time that either tell you to be more in rest and digest, recover, or more in fight, flight, freeze, fawn, more in this kind of go, 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 go atmosphere. And we need both, right? We need stresses in our life just as much as we need recovery. But we have to find a way to balance it and get the performance piece that we want. We talk about meditation, tapping, breath work, and cranial nerve activation here, and really how to work these pieces, as well as in mobility mastery. We have sleep experts, we have Whoop data recovery experts coming in and talking about some of these other pieces that can really be a part of connecting the brain and getting that on board. So what happens when your brain is not on board? When you're a coach that immediately jumps in and starts programming for the body only, and you never think about the role that the brain is playing. The brain and body are connected through neural pathways made up of neurotransmitters, hormones, and chemicals. These pathways transmit signals between the body and the brain to control our everyday functions, from breathing, digestion, pain, to movement, thinking, and feeling. No matter what, I know that there's like this whole thing that says, just shut off your brain and go. It is impossible to do that. Your brain is limiting and controlling every single, or optimizing, limiting, controlling, optimize every single thing that you are doing through these neural pathways. So when we as a coach are not aware of that, and we're not consciously thinking about that when we're programming, we are missing one of the biggest things in programming. We're seeing more and more things come out that revolve around this, but this is so important, especially what I talked about in day one, to get both fast changes and sustainable changes. You've got to be tapping into these neural pathways often with your athletes. What happens when you're not doing that? You're leading with the problem. So you're immediately thinking, oh, this person wants to lose weight. We need to, well, I know that this isn't true, but a lot of coaches think this, and you guys already showed up. So you're already like steps into world-class coaching. But how many coaches are out there in the world and they say, oh, you want to lose weight? You got to do cardio. And they give them a running program, like sign up for a 5K, couch to 5K. Perfect. Or how many people are thinking, okay, you've got back pain right now. We need to stop that back pain. So I'm going to do some manual therapy with you, and we're going to do midline exercises. So you're leading again with the problem, and you're selling this methodology, but you're completely forgetting that someone's brain controls everything that they do. So let's take this athlete, for example. They report tight hamstrings to you. So they come to you and they're like, yeah, like I don't like doing deadlift because every time I do it, it hurts my back. I've hurt my back in the past doing it, and I just have really tight hamstrings. What happens to this athlete when we don't first connect the brain? What do we immediately jump into doing? Programming, if you guys didn't listen to day 2. Testing, if you listen to day 2. So this is what testing reveals. So you look, okay, and this person says they've got tight hamstrings and they don't like to deadlift. What do you think? Probably would not be deadlifting with this person, right? Not yet, anyway. But we don't know why. Is this enough? Do we have enough information right here to start programming for them? Giving them foam rolling for their glutes and their hamstrings and their lower back and their mid back. Get out that Theragun, start hitting all that stuff. Jefferson curls, perfect. It's good enough, right? We don't have enough information yet. So let's look at just a couple other tests that we did on her full body. Straight leg raise was 70 degrees on both sides. Her hip external rotation was 45 and her hip internal rotation was 70 degrees. So a little bit excessive for her internal rotation, right on or a little bit low-ish for her external rotation. Her straight leg raise with core tension. So have her lay down on her back, punch her hands up to the ceiling, and I try to move them, or she can push her hands down into the mat. She can pull a band down and then do a straight leg raise, is 90 degrees. So her hamstrings feel tight to her, but she actually doesn't have a limitation there. It's at 90 degrees once we activate her core. Her body lets her hamstrings actually relax. Doesn't keep turning them on. Brain says, it's okay, chill out for a second, boop, right up. Feels like everything's safe. So what we would have missed, number one, if we stopped testing, was we wouldn't have known that. Number two, if we would have just immediately jumped into giving her all those flexibility exercises that it looks like she needs, we would have missed bringing her brain on board with some simple breathing exercises, some gripping that gets that midline stability and midline activation that we want. We would have completely missed that we could clear out this toe touch in literally 24 hours. And we could have gotten her in a safe position to start doing Jefferson curls, deadlifts, all these other pieces to start strengthening her posterior chain so her brain doesn't keep sending her that same signal. So is this enough? What else do we have? If we only focus on the brain, what else are we missing? So if we just gave her breathing patterns and she drops down, she can palm the floor. What else did we miss here? Resilience. Michael Rudder says resilience results from having an encounter at a time and in a way that the body can cope successfully from the challenge to its system. That's resilience. We are missing resiliency there. That's what connecting the body is about. Looking at joint by joint, looking at the Cook pyramid. So looking at foundationally, do you have the mobility to do this stuff? Do you have the stability? Do you have the strength? Now you can head into sport. Looking at really understanding anatomy and pain referral patterns and the mobility, like actual exercises that you can do. So what happens when you're not connecting your body? So all you did was focus on brain. You gave them some breath work, a couple of exercises to activate midline core, and you send her on her way. What did you miss in training? What is happening with that person? They got a fast result, but are they going to get a continued result? And are they going to improve towards the healthiest version of themselves? So same athlete. Here's all the pieces. But now on video analysis, we see that they have an inability to figure out the hinge. And also, we notice that their hip flexor strength is diminished when we start really looking at the body and some performance pieces. So now we give them a well-rounded program working on hip hinging pattern, working on hip flexor strength, as well as midline stability, as well as full rotational stability, as well as strength for rotation. Now we have truly focused on the person. We've seen all the parts. And yes, we're helping them get to their goal of not feeling their hamstrings be so tight, to be able to feel confident to do a stronger deadlift. That's what they came to us with. But we also found all these other pieces to help them move as a whole person to the healthiest version of themselves. I hope that makes sense. I want to go through one other example of how all the pieces of programming for the brain and body really start to come into place. So this is one of our athletes. Taking a look here, this athlete has recurrent knee pain and swelling. And we're just going through, I'm just going to show you guys a couple of tests. We go all the way through that mobility checklist. Boom, 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 boom. Get it done anywhere in about 10 to 12 minutes. You can get it done really quickly, become more efficient with you. Like I said, that's really the FMS. So the functional movement system is really where that is at, and why that's so important. So this is the athlete's T-spine rotation, side to side. Here is their hip internal rotation. Here's hip external rotation, right versus left. Here is their actual passive knee bend. And then let's watch this video here. This is their squatting, maybe. Well, I apologize. It doesn't look like the videos are going to play for us today. So she has a significant lateral shift whenever she is lifting. And so then what Corey, our head programmer, and I go through and do is we go through and we create a training program. We overlay this idea of the developmental sequence. So giving things on your back, giving things on hands and knees, giving things on kneeling, giving things in standing, giving things in more dynamic sports positions, single leg, more bounding, those pieces. So we look at testing and then we build flexibility, stability, and strength. And the testing can be built right in there. Your athletes can see every single day, are they progressing forward? People love to see their progress. It's how they get buy-in. It's how they keep working. So here's what actually Corey built out for this athlete. So you guys can kind of see here, we use a variety of different exercises and skill sets that Corey and I have both developed over the last 12 years. And you guys can see that we've got quadruped, so on hands and knees, scapular cars, kneeling, kettlebell halo, moving through. Then we've got shoulder ringing. And then we've actually got a joint gliding drill. And then we've got a slow eccentric lift going on. So we've got all of those pieces, stability, strengthening, movement, actual flexibility, all happening within her program. And we tackle her shoulders and some of that T-spine stuff right away. We also start looking at her hip flexion and extension. So you guys can see here, we're doing some dynamic leg swings and some other pieces, single leg, all of these things here. And you guys can look up any of these. These are all like YouTube links. So you can literally Google this exercise and see. So same thing, built out a knee protocol, built out a hip internal and external rotation protocol. And then we built out a hinging protocol for this athlete. So now they've got specific things for the elephants in the room that we found with this athlete. She's got specific exercises that she's doing each day. For her, we focused individually on each body part so that she could be more aware on what test we are actually testing and looking for from there. Some athletes will build out programs and every day they'll do like shoulders and hips all together in a flow. There is no right or wrong way. As long as you're hitting the elephants in the room, the biggest things that you recognized on their testing, hit those first and then keep retesting and making sure that it's moving in the right direction and making sure that they know exactly what you're looking for improvement wise so they get the buy-in. And this is really what we teach in Mobility Mastery is how to start doing all these programs. So what each test leads to. So in the testing, so that we take the checklist, we actually give you guys all the videos of all those pieces. And then in the library, like if someone had this as dysfunctional, these are some of the exercise options that we have. And we have like exercise libraries for the hip, exercise libraries for the back, exercise libraries for the ankle, and all of these pieces with flexibility, strength, stability built in there. And that's really how you start connecting. The brain really gets connected in there. We could do isolated breath work. So with this athlete, I've done some isolated breath work and some isolated really body scanning pieces. They also track their own data. So they're doing heart rate analysis, HRV analysis, sleep analysis, and doing nutrition work to really make sure that their recovery is on point. And then the developmental sequence and all the different pieces that we're hitting here are also getting that hormonal response. And then we're just walking her through anything that hurts. We want to be exhaling, we want to be breathing out. We don't want to be creating significant amounts of pain that are causing more restrictions. And that's really how we start putting those pieces together. I hope this helps you start to see how we can start as coaches. It doesn't just have to be the body. We can also set out separate sessions for meditation, separate sessions for breath work as we learn more and develop more skills. But also using just the developmental sequence can be a great way to get the brain on board, to calm the system down and really bring to more consciousness to movement. Thinking about these pieces, what else might you want in programming? What else is missing there that you guys might have thought? Please comment below in this video, send us a DM. What other things do you think about in your programming for mobility, for this recovery work, for improving movement precision? What pieces are missing there that you would add in? So how we use the mobility mastery is that we actually help coaches take the steps. So they're one-on-one doing performance pieces. So our elite level athletes are getting coached by elite CrossFit coaches to go to the CrossFit games. And then we fill in with these movement quality pieces and really recovery training and program. And that's really the biggest pieces and parts that we're continuing to develop over time and why it's so important to see. We do all of that online, which allows for more availability and allows for that athlete to use their time very efficiently. So, where do we really begin? Just to recap. Number one, where is your client qualifier? What commitment do you need to get from them? And where do you need to focus most of your energy? Do you need to focus on their coachability or do you need to focus on their actual performance? From there, what pieces here do you need to develop more of? So, someone might need in the beginning a big amount of your coaching energy. Like it's got to be on point. You're moving them with their attitude more. So you're more focused on your coaching energy and what you're bringing to them. And you're more focused on maybe a couple of primary testing pieces and building out their programming from there. Somebody else might be so nuanced, they're such a high performer, and you want to get them better. So you might spend a long time testing, really going through, getting their strength ratios, looking at their video analysis, and dialing in those small incremental pieces that are really going to move their performance. So you might be spending a bulk of your time on testing, but they're very coachable. Their attitude is very great. And so you don't need to focus as much time on your own coaching energy because they're filling up your cup too. So this is really where understanding where they are on the client qualifier, understanding what pieces and parts you're going to use all of these, but which ones need to be expanded and which ones do you need to focus on the most? And then what? As you guys know, all the best coaches in the world pursue a high level of education, classes, certifications. They have experience. They're working with athletes. They've been an athlete themselves. They've had friends that are athletes. However, you guys are coming in, they're getting reps. They're getting experience. Jill Glassneb really said this and talked to my friend Jess about this. And it's really stuck with her. And now it's really sticking with me too of get the reps. The more movements you watch, the more things that you'll see that are excellent, and you'll be able to pick out dysfunctions more quickly. You'll also know what things to let go and what things not to as you progress in athletes. So you're not constantly cueing and going through those things. All the best coaches collaborate and do all of those pieces. And that's so important to do. Also, they have mentors and mentorship. They offer mentorship themselves. They have a why. This is what I want to finish with. They have a why and they have a vision and they get fulfillment from what they're doing. 90% of personal trainers leave the profession within the first year. I believe that's for several reasons, but one of those reasons is job satisfaction, fulfillment, having a why, and feeding back into yourself. Hard skills as far as your continuing education, reading research articles, all those pieces are so important. They are just as important as how much you take care of yourself, how much you are bringing your best energy every single day. That's how you're going to get transformations, but that's also how you're going to continue to grow long enough to get experience. That's what we're talking about tomorrow. So I hope you guys tune back in tomorrow morning, Friday morning, really talking about this coach vision and how all those pieces fit together. So I'll be on at 7 a.m. Eastern. We'll be checking in then and go from there. So thanks guys for sticking through all my technical glitches all day. I am super excited to share all these pieces with you. Comment below these videos. What are you getting from them? What else do you see that makes a world-class coach, that makes that most requested coach? What pieces are you incorporating right now? Is it more identifying what clients you're working with and then your knowledge base of where you need to focus your time and energy so that you can get them the best results? Is it going through and understanding testing better and making sure that you're testing and you have specific protocols set up for that? Or is it today what we talked about, really going through and connecting the brain and the body? Were you more focused on one than the other? Or are you building out those programmings and having a good balance of both and really knowing how that should show up as representation for your clients? I hope our two case studies today really helped you pull all the pieces together. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow, where we're going to just really talk about coaching energy and fulfillment. And also, we're going to do a meditation first thing in the morning. So that's just going to bring everything together. And I'm super excited about it. So I hope to see you all there.